best-selling cookbook author, Leanne. Welcome to our bodega. You come in?
It's good.
So,
I think we're gonna be making like a Chana Masala today, which is basically like a curried chickpea. So basically, these dried beans, lentils are a much better value if you have the time to spend on them. And so it can be something, it can seem like, oh my God, 2-3 hours to boil these beans, but it's something that can just kind of go on in the background, despite having had this mini lecture that we probably should get canned, so that we can just have them ready to go, because I don't have a pot of already cooked chickpeas at home right now.
So chickpeas, a recipe is emerging. We'll grab 2 cans of chickpeas at $1.39 each. So where did the idea for good and cheap come from?
It was actually my thesis project for my master's degree at NYU. And I really just thought something like this should exist. I think that sort of budget cookbooks, at least at the time, and I mean I still think that, are just like, it's really an underserved audience. There's this attitude of like, you get what you get, and I just thought like, man, I know how to cook, and I know that it's really, really inexpensive to cook delicious food, and that that's accessible. And so I just wanted to create something that looked and felt as beautiful as any of the other gorgeous cookbooks out there, but just happened to be sort of inexpensive.
Do we need 1 or 2?
I think we probably need 2 of these,
Okay. So what is the strategy walking through the door when you come into a place that's local?
I usually try to have some kind of a plan, like at least a loose plan, but with like the flexibility of sort of knowing, oh, we have coconut milk, that's always nice.
Some oranges.
Okay, so we're definitely going to want some onions and garlic. A
bag of onions, sure you the whole bag.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. But yeah, I think that's all we're going to need today. Oh, we have big avocados.
Oh, yeah, I see a Mexican avocado. This one still has the tree on it. Do we need anything else, so we're good to go? All right, Nelson, ring us up. Be kind. Okay, 1413. Gracias, señor.
So we're gonna make the Chana Masala now.
Yes, we're on the other side.
Here we go. I'm gonna see how easy this is. So we'll start with chopping some onions.
What is the proper term to describe the situation in a lot of Brooklyn communities where they just don't have access? Yeah.
Well, it depends who you talk to. I mean, I think, from an academic perspective, I think it's still, food desert is sort of a useful term, meaning, and it's changed over the years. I think it comes down to, you don't necessarily have access within, I think it's usually about like 15 to 20 minutes of your home, whether that's in a community like ours, it would be walking distance. In a more rural community, it might be driving distance. It depends on the community, but it's sort of about how easily can you access food, and particularly fresh food. Some type of fresh food. The thing about this project is like, I don't think anyone should have to eat on $4 a day. I think that sucks, to be honest. Like, if it were up to me, it would be a totally different number. But it is a reality for so many people, and so given that reality, what can we do to sort of to be empowered in that situation? I think it's like, learn how to cook and become comfortable and become flexible, have a few recipes that you really know well, that you can get most of the ingredients for, and you're sort of better set up.
So for people who are living life, going to the bodega where they get the majority of their food, what is a basic thing? Because a lot of people have never even heard of like a Chana Masala kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
You put chickpeas.
Well, so it's like curried chickpeas, or I think lentils and beans and those kinds of things are a really, really great place to start and sort of become comfortable, because they're a great source of protein. They're a really nice sort of center of a meal. A lot of the recipes in Good and Cheap are sort of by necessity and because I think it's fun and it creates variety. They're vegetarian because meat is fairly expensive. And it's not that you have to live completely without meat or anything, but when it's the absolute center of every meal, it's going to be more expensive. So we have onion and garlic here, and then so these aren't usually things you can get at the bodega, spices, but if you have a regular grocery store anywhere near you, or any sort of like ethnic market, usually there's some good spice deals. And again, if you're missing one of these, it's okay. So this is about, I think that's like
a pound of
tablespoon.
butter.
That's not a pound of butter. It's like a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. And let that melt. And then, yes, we're going to add the cumin seeds.
Could I use that big tub of margarine that my grandma
totally
used to make?
You definitely
so it's
can.
not like a fancy thing to...
You for sure can. So now we're going to, I have the exact measurements in the recipe, but I usually just kind of go like that. So about like that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, there. Can you smell it? The cumin. Boom. And so now we're going to add all this onion. And I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit now.
Yeah. Now I can really smell it. The cumin, the onion, and the butter.
If we look at that bodega, all of the cheapest stuff was the stuff that had the least done to it. You know, the rice, it's uncooked, the dried beans, like the more sort of whole and basic the food, the less expensive it was for the most part.
Right.
Things that have something down to it, even the canned tomatoes,
Yeah, we're looking
are
at...
a little more expensive because they have, because they have that roasted garlic in them already. These are sort of a fancier kind, and so anything like that is going to cost more. And so if you can sort of get comfortable with things at their most basic level and know how to bring them together in really simple ways, you can get by, and you can actually have food that you really enjoy. There's our timer. I think that's the rice saying might be close to ready.
Wow.
It's looking fluffy.
Look at that rice.
All right. And how much of that garlic do you want to add?
All of it.
Okay, do it.
All
Do it.
of the garlic. Bam! Is that show still on the air? Is Emerald alive?
So now we're going to add a little bit of, I like to use this. This isn't essential, but I really love smoked paprika. It just adds a little bit, obviously, beautiful color and a sort of smoky note. I love to just keep it because I do a lot of vegetarian cooking. It adds a smoky element that you can't get that easily without meat and turmeric. And so we're going to add quite a lot of this. The coriander, I think like a full tablespoon, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, it's really a spice heavy dish. But it's because we're using such simple ingredients other than that, so you want that flavor and the beautiful turmeric. Gorgeous color. Look at that. We've got our red, brown, and yellow. So just dump that in.
Oddly enough, it smells like there's bacon cooking. Do you get
It's
that
because of the
impression?
paprika.
Chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
So these are gonna lay in wait.
Lay in wait, exactly.
Ooh, the spice hit me at the end.
Yeah.
Got
Just a
all-
little bit.
Yeah, not in a bad way. It got all smoky and...
I would add maybe just like a cup or so of water usually, but since we got it, coconut milk. Yeah. All right. Great. And so now we'll just kind of let that simmer until it thickens up a bit and all the flavors kind of melt together, and we will be done. This is looking incredible. Can you see how the oil from the coconut is starting to separate a little bit? Delicious.
This is the fruits of our labor.
Yeah.
A steaming pile.
And we got the addition of the egg from your pocket.
I never go anywhere without a boiled egg. Everyone who knows me
I really like.
So I never go anywhere without a
Both
boiled egg.
added something to this dish.
So that is a thing. So I'm looking at this. There's the two of us. We also have two crew members here who are enjoying some Chana Masala.
And we still have leftovers.
And there's
for
still
at least
a
two more.
honking pot. So our total when we left Nelson's today was about $14 that we paid.
Pretty good.
And this is gonna feed 4 people at least twice.
Yeah,
And we've still
So
got onions and
that's-
garlic to boot.
like $1.75 a person. And yeah, and we still have onions and garlic left over. I really like the coconut. That was a great addition.
That was our splurge, and we were
Garlic
so under
extravaganza plus coconut.
It's really good.
I love it.